Boom! Do you feel the impact? That's what we're talking about today. Impact. Are you a high impact contributor? Are you a typical contributor? Or are you a below level contributor? What type of impact are you making on your business, on your company? If you're in sales, what type of business are you making on your company? Are you making a high impact? No, what I mean. When we talk about impact, we look at I'm going to describe it as different situations. So some of them you might have a messy situation, and then sometimes you might have unclear roles. So what do I mean? What do I mean? Let's say a messy situation. A lot of times it goes towards your mind, just what you're used to on your regular everyday. Let's just call it your regular everyday job that you're doing and you're going to. What type of impact do you want to make? That's the first question. Do you show up saying I want to make an impact, or are you showing up saying I want to make a paycheck? Say it again. Are you showing up saying I want to make an impact, or are you showing up saying I want to make a paycheck? There's a difference, because both people are going to get a paycheck at the end of the day. Yes, both employees, for lack of a better term, both employees will get a paycheck at the end of the day. But when you start turning it into business, if you're going to make a high impact or a major impact, that's where it turns, and then it will be just a little bit different. The impact that you're going to make is going to be a little different on the income that you bring in. Can we talk? Okay, let me give you an example. I recall when I was in the military, and I was playing football. Now, I wasn't a great one, but I played quarterback. Okay. You saying, Frankie P? What you mean? Yeah, I played quarterback for my team when I was in the Marines. Now we had a receiver. Now the receiver's job is to, when they get the ball, is to move, stick and move, and not get hit. That's the receiver's job. The receiver's job is to get it, and when he gets it, boom, over here, boom. I'm trying not to get hit. That's the receiver's job. Now watch this. When you're in a different role, so I believe for whatever reason, the game we had went up. I believe we had gone up by 1, maybe 2 points. I can't remember the exact point total, but I do recall the situation. So we were up by 1 or 2. We had just scored, and we went up by 1 or 2. And it was maybe less than a 2-minute warning. So it had to be less than 2 minutes left in the game. Now watch this. Our receiver, whose job is to stick and move and not get hit, was on the special teams. So now we kick off. Boom. The ball is in the air. Fast as a jackrabbit. He's down there. But the mentality of a receiver kicks in. The receiver mentality says, let me dodge and move. So when they create the wedge for the kick returner, when they create the wedge, the receiver proceeds. He doesn't want that impact. What they say nowadays? He don't want well, I forgot what they say. What the kids say now? But he didn't want none of that. He didn't want to hit that wedge. So what does he do? He runs around the wedge. Now because he's so fast, when he's coming up, boom, he catches the he catches the kick returner. He catches the kick returner, but instead of catching him at the 25, breaking the wedge, now he speeds up, catches him from behind, and now they're at the 50. 25 yards. Those 25 yards was the difference in him making a field goal, getting the field goal range, and having to go an extra 25 yards to get in the field goal range. So we lose the game. Impact. Are you an impact player, or are you looking to, I just want to do my job. My job is to miss these people, to go around. That's not my job. Are you showing up just to be an average impact, or let me say, what do I call it? To when you're showing up and you're just giving an average effort, or are you showing up to make an impact, a high impact, a medium impact, or just, hey, I'm just here, below level impact? Which type of impact do you want to make in your company? Which impact do you want to make in your business? Which kind of impact do you want to make in your life? Because you've heard me say it before. How you do anything, and you've heard it. How you do anything is how you do everything. That's a saying. You know it. You've heard it before. I'm not the first person who said it. How you do anything. So when you go down and you want to miss the wedge, is how you do everything. When something challenging comes up, oh, I want to go around it. Are you that impact player where you says, here's the challenge. This is where it's happened. Jimmy Buckets did that. Jimmy Butler, he did that, I think, last night when they played Milwaukee. He became an impact player. He wasn't just a 3-guard or whatever it is, a 2-guard or a 3-guard. Jimmy Butler says, my team needs me. I got to show up. I know I'm going against a 7-footer, but toss it up there. Toss it up there, and I'll go get it. We going into overtime. Jimmy Buckets put Miami Heat, even though I'm going to say record-wise, Milwaukee was a better team than Miami. Milwaukee's a better team than Miami. But that day, and probably over this series, over this last week, Miami became a better team because they showed up and they made an impact. They didn't say, oh, okay, well, it's a challenge. It's going to be a little hard. So I don't know if we can show up. Let's just roll over. They didn't roll over. Right? You know what I mean? So now, when you're talking about when you have making an impact, sometimes when you're in your business, sometimes when you're on your job, you may have unclear roles, especially if you're an entrepreneur. All roles are unclear. Every day is unclear. You don't know how it's going to go in any day, but you have unclear roles. Now, if there are unclear roles, are you the type of person that says, well, I have a job title, or I have a title and that's not in the description? Or are you a high impact player where you say, okay, let me share with you when we did we on one of the shows, and you can check it out, BS4entrepreneurs.com. That's the BS of Entrepreneurship podcast. We just did a podcast with DJ Dirty Rico, and he saw a need. He saw a need in our community because there was a lot of crime going on. The crime was creeping up, and Rico said, "Man, there's a problem. Nobody's doing anything." So he reached out to some community leaders, and they said, yeah, I'm behind you. I got you. So he went out. No one was doing anything. So what did he do? He went out and grabbed the bullhorn. He says, hey, this is where I'm going to be. I'm starting here, and we're going down, and we're going to, I can't remember the saying that he said, but he says, we're going to go down here, and these young fellas, we're going to meet these young fellas where they are. And that's what I'm talking about, making an impact. He's made a strong impact. He made a high impact, boom, 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 at the community. Are you making a high impact on your business, or are you just showing up just to show up? Are you having a below level impact where you're not even meeting the criteria that you set for the business? You're not getting up. The alarm clock on a consistent basis goes off at 7:00. Well, are you getting up at 4:30 or 5:00 because you want to be a high impact and getting your workout done, doing the things that you're supposed to do, preparing for the day that's going to come up? Or are you even a low impact where the alarm clock goes off at 7? You got to be out the door by 8. So you say, well, man, I can get up at 7:45. if I can brush my I'm gonna take my shower tonight. I'm gonna take my shower at night, and then I took my shower. So all I gotta do is brush my teeth, throw my clothes, and I can get out the door. Matter of fact, I can get me something to eat on the way. I can stop by Chick-fil-A, whatever. I can stop and I can get there, and you're coming in the door right before you're supposed to be to work. Right before you're supposed to get there. Right before your client is showing up. Are you that below impact? Are you that just average impact, just a typical impact? Are you being that high impact? I'm showing up before it's time to get there. I'm going to be prepared for the customer or my client when they show up. I'm going to have not only what I promised them. So, for instance, let me just share in my coaching program. I'm not only going to give you one or two options when we do our free session. I'm gonna give you 5 or 6, maybe even 7. We going. It may be 25 minutes, but 25 minutes might turn into an hour. Why? Because I don't know how long it's going to take to have an impact. I would like, we might schedule it for 25 minutes. And if you would like to schedule a free 25-minute session, just go ahead and text coach to 301-549-6942. Boom. 25 minutes, we can put you on the schedule. There you go. But are you going to be a high impact performer? Are you going to be a typical performer? Are you going to be below level performer? That is up to you. No one can do it. I was listening to a training, and one of the trainers was giving some coaching, and the question was, how can I get motivated to do more in my business? And the answer, it kind of surprised me, but it was true. The coach said, I can't coach laziness. He says, I can't coach laziness. If you're lazy, I can't get you to take action. If you're taking action, then he can kind of guide you along and show you where you need to be based on where you're going and where you're headed. He can get you in the right direction, but he can't coach laziness. He said, I can't coach laziness. Where I see, and this is where the coaching that I'm performing, I kind of see, and because I'm just a naturally curious person, I'm just a naturally curious person. I want to know if you are being lazy and you're not moving forward. I want to know what's the reason behind it. So I'm that type of person. I want to dig down and find out what is making you not want to move forward. This was at a presentation, and one of the speakers, he was telling a story of I guess tampons or something about tampons. And he was saying how he was so shell-shocked from when he was a little boy that he didn't even know what tampons was. I guess his mother sent him to the store. He got the tampons, and he wanted to go play outside. So instead of going straight home, he went to start playing with his friends, and they teased him and they joned on him for having the tampons. He says, man, I done had PTSD about tampons since I was 10 years old. This man in his 40s. He said, I still have PT. My daughter, he said, I love my daughter to death, but don't ask me to go to the store. He said, I'm still shell-shocked about it. So, but there is a beginning point of why I believe there's a beginning point, and I like to dig down. That I guess that's my specialty. That's my superpower. I like to dig down, find out what is making you tick or what is not making you tick. I just don't believe when people say, they're just lazy. But there's a reason behind the laziness. Now, my personal opinion, I believe that people are not making move. You're not making the move forward for really one of three reasons. You lack the education, which you can't do it because you just don't know. You lack the experience, or there's fear. And typically the fear is, what is someone going to think if I do move forward and I do this? Am I going to mess up? What is your partner, Frankie P? I was the same way. Like, well, how are they going to think about me? So I for years, for years, and I'm talking to you like this, and we're talking, we're talking face to face. But for me, I was nervous because my mindset was always, well, what is the other person truly thinking? So that kind of held me back. But now, unless and those thoughts still enter into my mind. Those thoughts still enter into my mind, and it if not on a daily, on a weekly basis, they enter into my mind. So, but I have to get myself out of that, because I had to take a deep dive into myself. Lot of meditation, lot of self reflection, a lot of looking internal on what makes Frankie Peak tick. So now I can kind of guide myself around and see, okay, this is what worked for me. And so now allow me to share that with someone else. And so that's how that's my coaching style. My coaching style is to say, okay, yes, you have these challenges, yes, you have these setbacks, but guess what? That's what makes you credible. That's what makes you have the ability to move forward with your business, with your job. That is what gives you credibility, because you have the experience. You have been hit upside the head. You have been pushed back. So you already know that the client that you're working with, you already been there. You don't have to have sympathy. You have empathy. And empathy takes you a long way. When you have empathy and you're trying to relate that, and when you relay that to your client or your customer, that empathy, boom, it kicks in and they feel it. They begin to feel it. It is not something that's intellectual that you now they are. And so let me just say this: there are ways that words that you can use, which are quote unquote sales words, which work on the subconscious mind. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. They work 100%. Because how do we know that? Because even though we say, you may say, I'm doing this because I want to. I really want my customer. I just really want them to feel that I care about them. Yes, you want them to feel that you care about them, but a con man does the same thing. He doesn't care how they feel. He's just using words that gets past this conscious mind, talks to that subconscious mind, which is the small brain. Oh my God, it escapes me now. But they're talking directly to that brain that says, okay, fight or flight. And they understand, and they've studied how to get past the conscious mind, talk to the subconscious mind that makes you move towards their offering. It's a skill. They're able to do that. But in your business, in your company that you're doing, when you're marketing yourself and your product or your service, when you have empathy about that, and that's why I think a lot of companies, not that I think, but a lot of companies, unless you have utilized the product or the service, it's almost impossible for you to. Now you can make a sale, you can make a big sale, but you won't continuously. You always have a roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down, because everyone is not going to allow you to get past. You're not going to get past everyone's conscious brain and start talking to that subconscious mind. You have to be able to empathize with that. The empathy is what brings that boom, that barrier down that says, okay, allow me to talk to you. Let me, I'm going to listen to exactly what you have to say, because I can feel that you know what I'm talking about. But if you're just on the surface, okay, the pen, okay, okay, if you're just doing that with your product or your service, you can probably sell some if you're a good salesman. I heard a guy says, man, I can sell an Eskimo, I can sell a ice to an Eskimo. Well, I don't even want to work with you. If you can sell an Eskimo ice and they don't need it, Why would now? You are talented, but talent will only get you so far. I believe that your empathy that you have, the struggle that you have, that you can empathize with your client or your customer. When you can empathize and sympathize and empathize with them, it's going to get you much further than you would any other way. But if you have any, like I say, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you'd like to have a free 25-minute coaching session just to see if it's a fit for you, it may be. I'm not for everyone. I am not for everyone, but you know me. I was my confidence level wasn't up, and I had to work on it. So if your confidence level, if you aren't making the sales or if you aren't moving forward in your company or your business like you want to, there's a reason that you're not. And it's typically because your confidence is low somewhere. So let's find out where that confidence is. Let's work on building that confidence up. Boom. And now you can shoot forward and take it to another level. So if you'd like to book a free 25-minute session, just text coach. Just text coach to 301-549-6942. And I'll see you on the other side. Remember, this is your partner, Frankie P. You change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, do you want to be a below impact performer, an average impact performer, or a top performer? When you make that choice, you're going to change your life. Peace. Holla. Thanks, guys.